My name is Rodney T. Rucker. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 56 years old. I have one son, Raphael Rucker. Um, I want to say that if I have any grandchildren, I'm recording this for prosperity. If I'm here or if I'm not here, by the time they arrive, I want to say that I love you, that if I didn't see you or I didn't see you in better times, like while I'm living or while I'm not sick, I don't know what the day is August the 16th, 2020. So I don't know what the future holds. I just want to say to my grandchildren, whoever that may be, that I don't know at the moment, what advice would I give you? Always believe in God. Hold your hand in the hollow of His mighty hand, because a lot of people don't believe, but we come from a family who have always believed in God, and I can't tell you how many things that I've gone through. And there was a time when perhaps I wasn't very close to Him, but I say about 10, perhaps going on 15 years ago, I started getting close to Him. I started reading my Bible. I started studying my Bible. I developed a relationship with Him. I think in a lot of ways, I think in a lot of ways, I learned more. I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about Him, and He helped me through so many things. Your great grandmama, as the time of this recording, has dementia. I'm struggling with helping her through that. Um, as you can see by the uniform in the back, um, I work for Allied Universal Security. I've always been a security guard, probably now for about 13 or 14 years. I also was a forklift driver in a warehouse. I also was in the military. I also reached the rank of Spec 4 in the United States military. I worked for Crawford Long Hospital, which is now and probably will be in your time, Emory Hospital at Crawford Long. Worked there for 3 years as a dialysis tech. I was a surgical technician in the military. I studied for this. My MOS was 91 Delta. I served during the Gulf War. I got called to war at the age of approximately about 26. But I was out by the time I was 28. The war was over. I came home in 1991. Got discharged in 1995 honorably. I managed to get myself an associate degree from Atlanta Metropolitan College. I started off in life as biology pre-med at Morehouse College. I guess that would be your great grandfather, worked hard. He worked at the post office for over 30 years and worked for the United States Postal Service. Your grandmama was a social worker in her youth and with defects. And the last job she had, I believe, was with Landers Dry Cleaning. Your great grandmother, Ophis Sumlin Bailey, was the union shop steward at a place called Our Shirt Company. And that's where she worked until she retired. Trying to think of your great grandfather, Clarence Rucker. He worked at a tire place. He was a laborer. And your great grandfather, which my aunts and uncles, that had several brothers and sisters. He had 5 brothers and sisters. He was one of 6. But our story is very unique. Our story is very unique in the fact that what by the time your generation roll around may not be known to anyone, but I was adopted. I was born in 1964, March 27. I don't know where I was, but I wound up at some adoption agency. I have no idea what the name is. Downtowns. I was born at Greater Hospital. My mother is unknown. But your great grandmother and grandfather, they found me down there. They adopted me and I became their son. I've never ever regretted it. I've always cherished the family that I had. However, in 2017, toward the end of the year, I decided to submit my DNA sample to Ancestry.com. Again, by the time you come around, I don't even know if they're going to still exist. Or if they've gotten bigger or more powerful or whatever you want to call it. But there was a question on it when I only was seeking the ancient DNA. I wanted to know what I was made of, to be honest with you. Found out 42% Nigerian, 28%, I believe, from the Congo. Nearly some DNA from nearly every major country on the coast, the West African coast, and that add up to about 90% of me is from Africa. How much will be in you guys by the time you come along, I have no idea. But just a little your heritage. 1% Native American, don't know what tribe. 1% Filipino. That baffles me. We have about 2% European. I'm 1% British. Yes, believe it or not. 1% from Russia, Ukraine. So made of many different things, but the African DNA directly from Africa adds up to about 93%. But that's not the most fascinating part of my story, and therefore your story. The most fascinating part is there was a question that said if you had any close matches, do you want to know anything about it? I swear I started to put no. I wasn't trying to do that, but there was just this little nagging thing in the back of my head that said, you know what, go ahead. So I said, yeah, sure, whatever. Took about 3 months for the test to come back. And a few weeks after that, you have to set up an account online. And a few weeks after that, I was contacted by a lady. Her name was Benita Ramey Cornegie, and she was asking me some questions, and it said that we were close match. At first, it said first cousins or whatever. So I'm like, cool, great. Considering I'm an adoptee, to meet anyone that was actually biologically related to me was a wonderful thing, uh, a good thing, I say so. But when I arrived, something very strange and very wonderful happened. Sat me down on the couch, and she told me, she said, well, look here, I don't think you my cousin at all. I think you're my brother. And so we did some research, and come to find out that, well, let's just say we did enough research to find out that it was true. And then I found out that the surprises just kept coming. Then I found out that I was not alone in the world. I was one of many. Turns out there are 10 of us total. I have 9 brothers and sisters. I met her, and then I met my brother Derek. As of the timing of this video, I've only met and developed a relationship with 2. That's my brother Derek and my sister Benita. But my sister Belinda, Tammy, they are waiting to meet me. I have made contact with my sister Sheila, Dexter, Anthony, Sharon, Troy. And then there's something even more fascinating. Come to find out that my father, biological father, is a man, and I don't even know if he'll be known in your time, in your era, but a man named Troy Ramey. Turns out he was a gospel singer, which will explain, which does explain my incredible, powerful connection to music all my life. Turns out that he was Grammy Award winning. The most ironic part of this is that, like I said, we're a very religious family, and I used to listen to the radio on Sunday morning, and I heard his name, never knowing in any remote way possible that he might be actually be my real father. So it turns out you have 2 great grandfathers. You have Thomas Lee Rucker, and then you also have Mr. Troy Ramey, being your biological. At the time that I became aware of them, I will say that he was still living, but he died shortly. I had every intention of going to see him, but he died before I could. But the surprises just kept on coming. And one thing I want to show you is this right here. Now, you probably can't see the resemblance right here, but his father, let me see if I can get that in here good. This is Lee Norris Ramey. You probably can't tell because I'm considerably older now, but Mr. Ramey, Mr. Lee Norris Ramey, would be your great-great-grandfather, and he and I are almost an identical match, twin. This was a tremendous shock. Like I said, I've gotten older, but just take my word for it. He looks just like me when I was probably maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of about 30 years old. Perhaps he was approximately the same age. My sisters and brothers were shocked, and that removed all doubt as to whether, to me, without taking any further tests, that removed all doubt that this indeed was my family. He indeed was my grandfather. Troy Raymond was indeed my father. And as a matter of fact, I didn't need to take any more tests because it's like this. There's no way that somebody's going to look that much like you if you're not related to him. And I mean closely. So it turned out to be fascinating. I got pictures of the great. I get tangled up with these greats. So Troy Ramey would be your great grandfather. Lee Norris would be your great great grandfather. Your great great grandfather was named Leroy. And we all descend from a slave named Jack Ramey. And I think his wife's name was Matilda. So it's quite a rich history there. Now on the Rucker side, you have Clarence Rucker, strongest man I ever knew, and that was the grandfather, in your case again, great great grandfather that I grew up with. And there's cousin Fred, cousin Chevany, and turns out I have a pretty fascinating story, and therefore you do too. And I was sitting up looking at, tonight, I was looking at PBS. By the time you come around, once again, this is for the future. Once again, by the time you come around, I don't even know if some things that I'm talking about will even still exist. But it gave me this idea. And I'm going to do one. Your great-grandmommy is still alive. Great-grandmama Rucker. Still don't know at this time who your great-grandmama is on the biological side. But I'm going to do one of her and give her an opportunity. And I'm going to save these videos. Hopefully YouTube will still be around. Or maybe your father, which was going to have to be my son Ralph, will have access to my computer after I'm gone. And he can show you these videos I'm making. If I'm going to upload them to YouTube, who knows? Will YouTube still be around or not? I don't know. But all I want to say to you, is what was never told to me, and that's that life is very hard and difficult sometimes. You're going to be mistreated. People going to lie on you, talk about you. Everything that they can possibly do to make it hard. Life itself is going to have ups and downs and bumps and bruises. It's going to make itself hard. You're going to have a lot. If your life follows anywhere near my path, the pattern of my life, you're going to be struck by so many things that you feel like were not your fault. Some of your hardships are going to be, you brought it on yourself, and then a lot of them going to be where at least you feel like you didn't have, you were just sitting there minding your own business. And sometimes it happens that way. Sometimes you almost lose everything. And then there are times when you kind of nervous or scared because you feel like the blessings are too good. You're going to have love in your life. You're going to have hate in your life. This goes for my son Ralph too, if he chooses to want to look at it, which, again, that's your father. But you're gonna you might have financial difficulties. Everybody has some difficulties somewhere in their life. I noticed that some people have a lot of relationship problems. No matter what the relationship is, with their parents, with their friends, with each other. Some people have a lot of financial, but I was always plagued with financial problems. Even when I got to a point where I started getting better at managing finances, looked like I just had problems, tremendous debt, and I don't even know how I got in there. I had stupid advice, not good advice. I had to teach. The only reason I'm doing it as well as I'm doing it now is because, by the grace of God, with His help and His wisdom, I had to teach myself. I'm still, at this time, I'm 56. I look forward to living, hopefully, at least another 20, 25 years. And in that time, I'm thinking that maybe I will get it together and I can bring my life to a point to where I'm truly happy. And that's what, it's hard to be happy right now, to be honest with you, because of some of what's going on. It's hard dealing with your great grandmama with this dementia. Maybe again, and maybe in your time, maybe they will have worked that out to where people don't have to suffer with it anymore. It's unbelievable. It's incredible. I was literally in there today arguing with her about whether or not great grandmother was still alive. I can't. At this point in time, great grandmother has been dead for 26 years. I can't believe she doesn't know that or has forgotten that. And some of the things she do around the house is nobody ever explains to you about. So if I get it, or if your father get it, just do the best you can and hang in there and try to remember that we took care of you, and you've always needed us, and now we need everything that you can do. And I pray that you not throw us away, but we also be courageous enough to face whatever God decreed. So before you mess up your life, just like I told your father, I'll tell you again, I pass that on down. Before you mess up your life, don't let us mess you up and stop your life. Before we mess up your life, then hey, do what you gotta do. But just try to make us comfortable and make it where we won't suffer or have too hard a time. Got a lot more to tell you. I think maybe I'll make some more of these, but after 23 minutes, I think I'm gonna cut this one off, and I'm gonna try to maybe eventually one day get one going with great grandmama, so that there's no reason, even if I'm not here, even if by the time you see this, even if I'm gone by then, there's no reason for you to never, in this day of technology, in this day and age, there's truly no reason for you to not know me. So, signing off. Have a good night. And I pray for the best, that your life be better than mine. Okay, talk to you later.